Hey, this is Richard Hansen here from Impact Presentations. And one of the questions I am often asked, and I cover it in a lot of my presentations, is where do we place certain elements on the slide in order to attract the most attention and create the most interest for our audience? There is a certain ratio that we can use to do this, and the simplest way is by using the rule of thirds.
So what is a rule of thirds, and why should we consider using it when we are designing the visuals for our presentations? The basic concept of the rule of thirds is to place elements according to certain proportions on the slide so that we create further interest in our visuals that give the audience's eyes somewhere to move on the screen, rather than just placing the object or the element in the center of the screen, which is in a lot of cases considered static. So to help us set up and get ready to place our elements on the slide according to the rule of thirds, we firstly need to create some guides. So we'll do this by breaking our slide down into 9 equal portions by drawing a line, horizontal line and vertical lines evenly on the slide, giving us our 9 equal proportions, 3 horizontal and 3 vertical. And we can use the areas that we have broken this slide down into to place our elements. And to take it another step, if we want to create a particular interest, we can put those elements directly along the vertical or horizontal lines, depending on the image. But if we want to take that one step further and direct them to a particular element, we can use the crosshairs, or where the lines intersect, and our eyes are automatically and naturally want to look in that area on any slide or any object. And believe it or not, those areas are called power points. Now you can leave those lines there and just duplicate them for every slide and keep them as a guide. What we do at Impact Presentations is we use a grid for this particular purpose, as you can see right in front of you here. And I'm just going to go into editing mode and show you how we use that grid. So first of all, I will snap that right into the edges of the slide. And the red lines represent the rule of thirds, the lines we've broken down for the rule of thirds, and the green lines are basically further dissecting lines, which helps us keep some consistency across all slides in the deck. So the way we use this, I'm just going to show you how we would use this grid. So here we have a slide here with 2 elements. We have a text element here, and we have an image element over here on the right hand side. So I'm just going to take this rule of thirds, or this grid, and place it over the slide. And so what I want to do is I want to place the visual element in the very right hand side of the slide, and I will keep that within the guidelines. I'm just going to stretch that image a bit. This is a fairly high quality image, so I don't need the whole image for people to get the concept. Again, you can see I'm keeping it within the right hand side. And the text element, I want to create a little bit of interest here, so I want to place the text element right in the middle of the vertical line, and I'm going to put my main keyword right on top of the horizontal line at the top. And what I'm going to do, I know this is just a little thing, but his eyes aren't pointing directly to that main keyword I want him pointed to, so I'm just going to put a little bit of tilt on there, and there you have it. And we have placed the elements on the slide according to the rule of thirds, and this is how it looks. So I'm going to now take you to another slide, and this is a slide we've done for a client for a mobile app, and I want to place a certain element on the slide, and we have the fingers pointing directly towards the top left hand corner. So I'm going to take advantage of that and put the element, or put a dissecting line right in at the fingertip. So again, I'm just going to put the grid over that, and what I'm talking about here is putting the fingertip on this dissecting line here. And now I'm going to take my text element and do the same thing as the previous slide. I want to put it directly in the middle of a vertical line and the main text area on top of the horizontal line at the top. And so now we have the finger pointing towards our text area. The eyes are attracted to this area, and of course we have this in an element according to the rule of thirds. And just give you a look at that. So now we have another image here, or another slide here. This is my little boy here, and I want to direct the attention straight to his eyes. So again, I'm going to put the grid over this slide and stretch him right out. Again, this is a high quality image. You wouldn't stretch this out in a low quality image. Stretch it out just a little bit more, and I want to place the crosshairs right on his eyes. Now you can see this is tilted a bit. We could leave this a little bit, but if you want to get real fussy, we can tilt it a little bit so they are directly on his eyes. And now we have created further interest by directing the audience's attention to a particular element, and that being his eyes. And I will just play that for you.
So there you have it. It's not just about plonking an image or an element on the slide in any place. There is a certain aspect that we can use to create the most interest. However, there is a caveat on this. I don't want you, if you're using the rule of thirds, I don't want you to be restricted by this. If it looks better somewhere else, by all means use it, but it is a great guide to use.